Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Blueprint Design and I'm Nikhil. And in this video, we will continue our Instagram app design process from where we left off in the previous video, where we designed the share dialog for all the posts and stories. And we also did one story screen and one comment screen to see all the comments on the post. We also did the options dialog for the stories and the posts. So if you haven't seen that, please watch that and then continue with this video. So let's get started. In this video, we will continue our design and build the activity screen. So for example, in your app, if you have any likes or any other activity, so we'll try to emulate that. And for that, I have just copied the comment screen because I'm going to reuse a lot of the components. And for the activity itself, I have made a component which has a profile photo, some text, and the post. And I made a few states of that component to show the different activities. So I'm going to copy this component and then bring it into my artboard over here. But before building the screen, I do have to bring one more item, which is the time of activity. So if you notice on the application, it shows what day the activity was. It groups the activity by day. So for example, these activities were, they happened today. So Instagram will show all the activities for today. Now, from the component section, I just created a repeat grid. But since this is a component, I cannot update all the items as we normally could in a repeat grid. So if I were to update the profile photo, I wouldn't be able to do so. Usually we can in a repeat grid, but just because this is a component, I will have to ungroup the repeat grid and then update the individual items. So like you see here, I then quickly use the plugin called UI Faces to automatically give me some random faces to emulate user accounts. Once that is done, I can also try to simulate the activities for yesterday, so that we kind of get a scroll action for the activity artboard. So I'm just going to arrange the layers panel and group them together so I can make a scroll group. On the activity screen, we also have the navigation bar. So I just copied that and pasted it over here. With the scroll group ready, our activity screen is now ready. So we're going to see this in action. It looks almost real. So that's good progress. Now we're going to actually create the interaction from the home screen. So just because this particular icon on the home screen was part of the post like icon, I am going to unlink it from the component and then create an interaction leading to the activity screen. I also created the back button interaction from the activity to the home screen. And seeing that in action, you can see that when I click on the activity button, the heart button on the home screen, it takes me to the activity page. And when I click on back icon, it takes me back to the previous artboard. Next, we're going to start building the search page on the Instagram application. So I've created a new artboard. I will give it the dark color background and copy the status bar up on the top. I will reuse the components that we've already made here to save time. For example, the search bar on the top. And after we've copied the search bar, I created one component to sort of filters or breadcrumbs that we call it on the application. So you can search according to or filter according to these breadcrumbs on the search page. So I added padding like around the text, so the rectangle actually updates according to the length of the text. But we need a repeat grid for the breadcrumbs, so I'm just going to create a repeat grid to save our time, and then update the individual items within the repeat grid. So here, for example, I have some breadcrumbs or search filters as fitness motivation, UX design, and photography, etc. But I'm going to ungroup the repeat grid so that I can update the wordings and they update accordingly. I also want to create a scroll group, but before doing that, I want to add some background as well to add more breathing area for the breadcrumbs. Once that is done, I will create the scroll group, and then let's see that in action. So I can scroll through towards and see all the breadcrumbs. So that's good progress. Next, we are going to create the search suggestions. So I am using some photos already. So I'll just bring those photos onto the screen. To create the mask for those photos, I'm going to create a rectangle with the width as 428 pixels and give it a red color. Now we will use the properties panel to divide it by 3 to accommodate 3 posts, and then just round down the number. So in this case, it's 142 pixels in width, and I'll apply the same to the height as well. And for the photo, I'm going to select the photo and the red color mask and press Command Shift or Control Shift and M to create a mask. This gives us more flexibility. With the mask created, I will then create a repeat grid of the photos and create a two-dimensional repeat grid to simulate the search suggestions, as this will save time for us creating the artboard. I can then go inside and select all the photos, but instead of using these dock photos now, I am going to select some photos from my computer. So I have a bunch of photos downloaded onto my machine, and from Explorer or Finder, I can then just select all the photos and drag and drop them onto my repeat grid. And I can then arrange the photos to my liking. So this is a great feature to use. We have the first 2 rows for suggestions, but if you have noticed, Instagram also provides suggestions for reels or videos every now and then. So let's create a couple more rows to simulate the video suggestions. So I'm going to repeat the process for the photos by creating the masks and then creating the two-dimensional repeat grid. But when I'm done with the repeat grid, the only difference will be that I still have some space on the right hand side to add one vertical video. So I'm going to use the same red color shape as the mask. I will just increase the height of the shape and then repeat the process by bringing in a video file into Adobe XD. Yes, you heard that right. Adobe XD now supports video playback as well. So if you haven't seen my video on the latest updates for Adobe XD, be sure to check that out as well. Just like we added photos, I can easily add videos to Adobe XD, and then from the properties panel, control the playback options and also trim the video if I like. So when I'm satisfied with the video, I can then choose to loop the playback automatically. So the video will then play continuously. So I think this represents more closely what the search screen looks like in Instagram. I now want to create some more search suggestions so that we can scroll on the page to see more and more suggestions provided by Instagram. One of the things that I noticed on the Instagram screen is that every now and then the video search suggestions on the search screens appear on the left or on the right. So I'm actually trying to simulate that behavior as well. The process for adding the videos by using masks and setting some automatic playback options is the same, just like we did before. So with all of these settings done, I think the Instagram search page looks complete. So I will now add the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen. I can save the progress now and arrange and rename the layers on my layers panel. Let's see that in action. So the video playback actually starts automatically, and that's good. And that's what I want. Next, I have created some icons. So on the search screen, you may have noticed the icons for videos or multiple photos in a post. So I'm going to try and add those to these repeat grids. So first I'll try to add or simulate the multiple photo indicator so that the user can swipe and see more photos in the same post. I will do the same with the play icon where the videos are. Adding these small details provides more realistic rendition of the prototype. Seeing it in action, I can click on the search icon and go to the search tab and then see my suggestions and the breadcrumbs. Moving on, we're going to build the messaging screen for Instagram. So as always, I'll set the background and use the predefined components so I don't have to redo my designs. The message header also has some of icons like create a new message and filter from the available messages. So I've added these icons. Below that, I will add some text, which is the section or the tabs for chats and calls, and then if you have new requests. So I'm adding a tab area for the chat tab, just like we did for the suggestions on the search screen. So I divided the area into three parts, that is chats, calls, and requests. And I'll add an indicator to the active tab as well, which is chats in this case. I'll group them together. Below that, we have the search bar. So you can search from your available chats and find your contacts easily. So over here again, I'm going to reuse some items that we've done before. For example, the profile photo, the name of the contact that you have the chat with. And again, there is an icon to directly add or send them a photo or a video. I will then create a repeat grid out of this. And as you can see, we already have the plugin working for us. Moving on to the prototype tab, I will now unlink the message icon from the component and then create the interaction. And then from the message tab, I will create the previous artboard interaction as well. Seeing it live, it works well, but we don't have the scroll action. So I will go back and add the search tab and all my messages to a scroll group and then see the progress again. This time it works perfect. Don't forget to save your progress. So that's it for today. In the next video, we will see the Reels screen, the shop screen, and the user profile screens as well. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and show some love. Share this video with your network so more people can learn and build the framework for designing a familiar application. And do consider subscribing as I have a lot of stuff planned for you. Thank you so much for watching.